Okay, buckle up, because today we are diving straight into the fascinating world of wolf howls.
Sounds intriguing.
You've always been curious about wolves,
Right.
and you want to understand how each wolf expresses itself within its pack.
Yeah.
We're talking individual nuances, hidden messages, the whole symphony of it.
Okay, I like where this is going.
And you've sent over a stack of research papers, some new, some older, that really get into the nitty-gritty of wolf vocalization.
It's fascinating stuff.
I'm really excited to dig into this with you.
Yeah, me too.
One paper, the Marty Domkin study,
Okay.
mentioned something called whoa-whoa howls.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
Wait a sec.
that sounds almost comical.
Right. Yeah, it's not what you typically think of when you think of howls.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I always pictured those chorus howls as wolves, just howling randomly as a pack, like a free-for-all of sound.
Right.
But you're saying there's more to it.
Way more.
Okay,
Imagine it less like a free-for-all and more like an orchestra.
okay.
There's structure, different parts, and each wolf seems to have its own distinct voice within that structure.
So each wolf has its own, let's call it a sonic signature.
Precisely.
Like that's how other wolves know who's who.
Exactly.
It's like how you can recognize a friend's voice on the phone without even seeing their name pop up.
Right.
That's their acoustic signature.
Yeah,
And wolves, it seems, have evolved to be masters of it.
that's amazing. But if every wolf has its own acoustic signature, does that mean researchers can actually identify individual wolves just by their howls?
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting.
The Night et al. Paper really highlights the game-changing potential of this.
Okay.
Imagine being able to track individual wolves in the wild just by listening.
Wow.
No more risky captures for tagging.
Right.
It could revolutionize conservation efforts.
That's amazing.
It really is.
It's like each wolf has its own ID card broadcasted through its howls. No wonder you called this groundbreaking.
And the Root Gutteridge paper takes this even further.
Okay.
Most previous studies focused on the frequency of howls, the actual notes.
Right.
But Root Gutteridge found that factoring in amplitude,
Amplitude.
essentially the volume of the howl,
Okay.
was the key to unlocking near-perfect individual identification.
So it's not just what they're howling, but also how loudly they're howling.
You got it.
That's fascinating. I never considered volume as a factor in how wolves communicate.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can learn when you dig deeper into the research.
What kind of accuracy are we talking about by adding that in?
Root Gutteridge found that combining frequency and amplitude analysis bumped identification accuracy to almost 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a game changer for sure.
100%. That's incredible. We're talking about identifying individual wolves with the same certainty we use for fingerprints.
Absolutely. And that level of accuracy opens up a whole world of possibilities for researchers.
This is already so much more complex than I ever imagined, and we're just getting started.
Right.
Yeah.
And just when you think it can't get any more intricate, it does.
What? What is it?
Remember how we were talking about chorus howls being like a structured symphony?
Okay.
Well, the Pasalongo paper throws in a whole other layer of instruments.
Really?
They found that in addition to the classic howl, there are all these other sounds woven into the chorus.
What kind of sounds?
Barks, whines, whimpers, even yelps.
Wait, yelps? Like what puppies do?
You got it.
Are you telling me there are puppy sounds mixed into these serious adult wolf howls?
It seems those puppy dog eyes translate to sound, too.
Wow.
Pasalongo categorized all these additional sounds and, just like with the main howl, found they seem to have unique patterns depending on the wolf.
So we're not just talking about a melody, but a whole orchestra of wolf sounds, with each wolf playing their own variation within that orchestra.
It's pretty amazing stuff, right?
This is blowing my mind. It's like we're only hearing the tip of the iceberg when it comes to wolf howls.
It really is like unlocking a secret code. And the more we learn, the more we realize how much we still don't know.
It's incredible.
Like, for example, we touched on those whoa-whoa howls earlier.
Right.
Researchers are still trying to pinpoint their exact purpose.
Yeah, those really piqued my curiosity.
Yeah, they're really interesting.
What's the leading theory so far?
Some researchers believe they might be a way for individual wolves to, to emphasize their presence within the chorus howl.
Okay.
It's like saying, hey, I'm here too, amidst all the other voices.
So it's not just about being heard as part of the pack, but also about asserting their individuality within it.
Exactly.
Wow, fascinating.
And this individual variation within the pack structure has some researchers really excited about the potential for using howls to study wolf behavior in the wild.
Oh, right. We were talking earlier about how this acoustic identification could be huge for conservation,
Yeah.
but you're saying it goes even beyond that.
Absolutely. Think about it. If we can reliably tell which wolf is howling,
Okay.
we can start to track their movements over time, their interactions with other pack members,
Wow.
maybe even their role within the pack's social hierarchy, all without ever having to get close to them.
So we could be listening in on their social dynamics, their relationship,
Exactly.
just from analyzing their howls?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's like having a window into their hidden world.
Yeah, it really is.
What kind of things could we learn from that?
The possibilities are endless.
Really?
We could study how wolf packs establish and defend their territories, how they communicate with rival packs, how they raise their pups.
Wow, that's incredible.
We could even learn more about the complex social structures within a pack,
Yeah.
like how leadership roles are established and maintained.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
It's like we're going from studying wolves in captivity to eavesdropping on their conversations in the wild.
And the best part is, by using sound rather than more invasive methods, we can study them in their natural habitat without disturbing their behavior.
Right.
It's about as pure a glimpse into their world as we can get.
That's a really important point because we all know how crucial it is to study animals ethically and minimize our impact on their lives.
Exactly.
It's about respecting them and the balance of nature.
And this acoustic research allows us to do just that.
That's a relief.
It's a win-win for both science and conservation.
I like it. It's like we're finally starting to listen to what wolves have been telling us all along.
It's true.
It's just taken us a while to develop the tools and the understanding to hear them.
And the more we listen, the more we realize how much they have to teach us. Not just about wolf behavior, but about the complexity and wonder of the natural world itself.
You know, it's funny. We started this deep dive talking about whoa howls
Uh-huh.
and their almost comical sound.
Yeah.
But now, the more I learn about the nuances and complexities of wolf communication,
Yeah.
the more I'm struck by its beauty and sophistication.
It's true.
Like, it's not what I expected going into this at all.
I know, right?
It really makes you think.
It's a reminder that even in the seemingly simple act of howling, there's a depth and richness that we're only beginning to appreciate.
And this is all just from a handful of research papers you've shared.
Right.
I can only imagine how much more there is to discover.
Oh, we've barely scratched the surface. There's a whole world of research out there exploring the intricacies of animal communication, from the songs of whales to the dances of bees.
That's incredible.
And every discovery pushes the boundaries of what we thought we knew about the natural world.
Wow. Okay, you've convinced me. I'm hooked. What else you got for me? What other amazing wolf howl facts are you hiding up your sleeve?
Well, one thing that particularly fascinates me is how those lone wolf howls, the ones we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
might play a role in the pack's daily routine,
Okay.
almost like a kind of acoustic timekeeper.
Acoustic timekeeper.
Yeah. So think about it. Wolves are crepuscular animals, most active at dawn and dusk.
Okay.
Now imagine a pack waking up after a night of hunting or patrolling, often spread out over a large territory.
Right.
Those lone wolf howls at sunrise, those good morning world calls, could actually serve a dual purpose. They announce their presence to the world, yes, but they also serve as a way for the pack to reestablish contact after being separated during the night.
So it's like a morning roll call
Exactly.
broadcasted across their territory.
It's a way for them to say, hey, everyone, I'm over here. Where are you?
Right.
And because sound travels farther at dawn when the air is typically calmer,
Okay.
those howls can reach even the farthest pack members.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's like a built-in long-distance communication system,
Right.
perfectly timed for their most active hours.
Exactly.
But what about those howls that signal a missing pack member?
Uh-huh.
Do those also happen mostly at dawn and dusk, or are those more urgent?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it gets to the heart of how wolves use vocalization to maintain pack cohesion even when they're spread out. Those missing member howls, the ones that are acoustically distinct from the Good Morning World howls,
Right.
seem to occur whenever a wolf detects the absence of a packmate, regardless of the time of day.
So they're constantly keeping tabs on each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you said earlier that these howls might convey more than just location.
Right. Some researchers believe that the specific acoustic qualities of those howls,
Okay.
the length, the number of notes, even subtle variations in tone, might actually encode additional information about the missing wolf.
What kind of information?
Wow.
Like how close they were last seen or what direction they went in?
Potentially.
Okay.
But even more intriguing is the idea that these howls might convey information about the missing wolf's status within the pack.
What do you mean?
For example, the howl might sound different if it's signaling the absence of a high-ranking wolf versus a lower-ranking one.
Wow, so it's like they're saying, we're missing our lead scout.
Yeah.
Or, has anyone seen Sparky? He tends to wander off.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It really highlights the complexity of their communication.
Yeah.
They're not just saying, hey, someone's gone missing.
Right.
They're potentially conveying a wealth of information about that absence.
Wow, this has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
It has been really interesting, yeah.
I had no idea there was so much more to wolf howls than just a bunch of woos in the night.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
And the more we learn, the more we realize how much there still is to learn.
So what else is there? Where do we go from here?
Well, for example, one area that researchers are just starting to explore is the possibility of regional dialects in wolf howls.
Regional dialect.
Yeah, just like human languages have regional variations, it's thought that different wolf populations might have developed their own subtle variations in howling style,
Really?
based on factors like their environment, their prey, and even their social structures.
So it's not just individual wolves with unique voices, but entire populations with their own dialects.
Exactly.
That's wild.
It's like listening in on the history of their species told through sound.
This has been absolutely incredible.
It has been fun, yeah.
I feel like we've gone from, 0 to 60 on wolf howls.
Yeah.
From basic understanding to, unraveling the complexities of acoustic signatures, pack dynamics, and even regional dialects.
It really makes you appreciate the complexity of the natural world, right?
It really does.
And it makes you want to go out and listen.
It does.
Yeah.
And to think, it all started with a simple question. What's the story behind a wolf howl?
That's the beauty of curiosity, isn't it?
Yeah.
We started with a simple question, and it led us down this incredible path of discovery,
Right.
revealing hidden layers of meaning in something we often take for granted.
It's true. And it makes you wonder what other secrets are hidden in the sounds of the natural world, just waiting for us to, tune in and listen a little closer,
Exactly. Every species, from the tiniest insect to the largest whale, has its own unique way of communicating.
Incredible.
And the more we learn about these different forms of communication,
Yeah.
the more we realize just how interconnected and wondrous this planet truly is.
As fascinating as the science is, I think the biggest takeaway for me is a renewed sense of awe and wonder at the natural world.
I couldn't agree more. It's a reminder that we share this planet with creatures whose lives and stories are just as complex and meaningful as our own, and that there's always something new to learn if we're willing to listen.
Well said. And for all you listeners out there, I hope this deep dive has inspired you to tune into the soundscape around you,
Yeah.
to listen a little closer to the whispers of the wind, the chirping of crickets, even the distant howl of a wolf.
You never know what you might hear.
You never know what stories you might uncover.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of wolf howls.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep listening.